like evil. Like, you know, I don't feel like, you know, we're evil because we're, you know, not what you guys are, basically.
So look, skin color don't make you good or evil. Eye color don't make you good or evil. Hair texture don't make you good or evil. What you have rotten in your heart, making you fuck over people and mistreat people and think you better than other folks, that's what make you evil. Right? So the whole divide and conquer mechanism wasn't just skin-based racism. It was also, my religion is bigger than yours. My God is smarter than yours, tougher than yours, bigger than yours. You know, my candidate is a better politician than yours. And don't none of that shit got nothing to do with us.
Facts.
So we didn't do racism before the invaders came. We invited all people over here that wanted to live by the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
I can see that.
And that's why it's always been known as the great melding pot. When you start searching in ancient history and you find out America, what we call America today, was referred to as the great amalgamation, the land of the great amalgamation. What the fuck is they talking about, and why do I keep running across this shit? Because all of the clans on earth congregated on this land. This is the Holy Land.
And my father's side is Cherokee and Chickasaw, because he's from, like, I'm from Norfolk, Virginia, but they're originally from North Carolina, so it's more like Cherokee over there and like a few other tribes, but I'm mainly Cherokee or whatever. And
so the Cherokee migrated over there to fight in the Seminole Wars, just to give you a little background.
Oh, so I'm probably not even really from North Carolina. Like, my people are probably from wherever they migrated from then.
It's possible, but you're gonna be called whenever Big Mama gonna you just gonna know where to go. You're not gonna know why you want to go there, but you're gonna know you determined. That's what they call the matriarchal call. When you get that shit, ain't nobody gonna stop you from going where you feel you need to be on the energy grid during the shift, because everybody got to line up. Big Mama telling us all where to go.
That's crazy, because I'm about to go to Dominican Republic. I have land over there and I'm building a house, and I don't know why. Like I'm feeling so called to get back to my Taino roots over there. Like, I've been learning the ancient alphabet. You know, like the fact that you said like. The Arawak people, they're not just in those, they're actually even in Mexico, you know, so like just learning all that is just like so crazy to me. And like I've just been like, why am I getting like called over here and called there or whatever? And every time I'm like called to different spots, because I just came back from, I'm in Atlanta right now, but I just came back from Norfolk, and I was there healing. Like, there was no reason for me to be there for real. I was at my grandmother's house, and I was learning so much about like my ancestors and why we look the way we look. Like, my grandmother's dark skin, but I look just like her. And we don't look like anybody else in our family, and it's because she has a different father. But it was just so, like, eye-opening to, like, actually, like, learn about what I have to learn about. And then I was just like, all right, on to the next. And then that's why I'm, like, planning my trip to go to Dominican Republic, because I'm just trying to pretty much get back to the roots.
So the Haiti is the big deal. Haiti got the dagger that belongs in the heart of the corporation known as the United States. It's the carryover, the residuals from the conjure of the Haitian Revolution. Now, when we talk about the Haitian Revolution, we never, ever, 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 ever talk about the other half of the island. The other half of the island was fighting too.
Yeah.
So we'll remember sporadic major events, and we'll read about them, and people will write about them. But why are they speaking French on one half of the island, Spanish on the other half? Right? And then some of the surrounding islands in close proximity, they speak in English. Right? All of us was fighting. There's no tribe that wasn't in this fight. There's not one. We was all in this shit. That's why you got motherfuckers that look like Polynesians in places where Polynesians shouldn't have been.
Facts. There's like Asian looking people in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
And
so
they speak just like us. Like, it's so crazy. And I'm like, yo, where did y'all? They're like, we've been here forever. I'm just like, forever. Like,
so when we fought the Seminole Wars was like the big war battleground, because the trees, the terrain, the enemy couldn't get in there. Florida was way different topography than it is now.
More like marshy?
No, it was trees. The trees was like Florida redwoods, some of them. A lot of them was. But when the invaders would run in there, you had half of the Seminoles hit the treetops and attack them from the top, while the other half hit the marsh and attack them from the swampy ground. So they couldn't never get a stronghold. So they start cutting down the trees and setting fires until they pretty much, like right now when you go through Florida, most people don't pay it attention. But you have major tree stumps that's been there for at least 100 years. Right. And they like, you could tell it was a bunch of trees there, but they don't cut them down. Like when you know what lumberjacks do in foresting, they cut close to the ground. These trees not cut close to the ground, and they all did. Right. And the reason they did, because they burnt them up. Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I was born in Miami, but I claim Virginia because that's where I'm from. And like, we had a house in Miami and everything or whatever, but I was always telling my mom how I liked more so the middle of Florida and North Florida because it had more agriculture. Like it had more greenery there. Like in Miami, there's a few palm trees, you know what I'm saying? Like there's no like real green. And I was just like, it's actually crazy that it's just houses everywhere and there's no green, barely any grass.
The land in Florida used to look like the bayous of Louisiana. The whole, almost all of Florida. And then where all of the major cities of Florida, Jacksonville, Miami, Dayton, Tallahassee, those were what you call dry lands of Florida. The majority of Florida they lived in the treetops. We called them skywalkers. And it stretched, it wasn't just Florida. The rainforests of the South that was cut down stretched all the way going into Texas.
Oh, shoot. So like it went through Alabama, through Georgia, Alabama.
Through Alabama, Georgia, Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, all the way up into Texas. They had trees cut down. If you go back to the stories of what's this? He had Babe the Blue Ox, Paul Bunyan, the great lumberjack, right? Because Paul Bunyan was the symbol for the lumberjacks that they brought over here to chop all that shit down.
Wow.
Then they found out how to monetize the trees, and we was fucked after that. Once they found out how to monetize the trees, that's when they started giving it to us with no motherfucking lube.
Do you believe in energy vortexes? Because like I'm here in Georgia, right? And like it does not, I get the kind of same feeling that I get when I'm in Arizona. Like it's a lot of, I mean, there's like a lot of bad everywhere, but it's a lot of weird shit going on over here. Like a lot of weird shit. And like,
well, this might help you. Atlanta is where Atlantis is supposed to reemerge from.
Ooh.
Atlanta. But before Atlantis can reemerge from Atlanta, meaning that the elders that's in Atlanta are the most instrumental, but they're not going to be seen until we see three kings walk in the land. And when three kings raise the matriarch, there's some people in Atlanta that's probably about 200 years old. They got the real keys. The keys I got, that's just opening the door to Big Mama house. But the real old people that live in Atlanta, they real old. I mean, like they real old. Like they old to the point where the whites of their eyes look like it got buildup on it, and it's kind of like a grayish color. They old.
Look like they got cataracts.
Yeah, but they don't got no cataracts. They see better than you.
Yeah.
And they got a very strong mystic presence, and you can probably be feeling them from where you at.
That's interesting because I feel like it is probably the elders that are gonna have to come out when they come out, you know what I'm saying? Because I know it's like people here in my age, I'm 23. Their frequency is so slave mentality, so locked in. And like I know like everybody has to go through their own journey and and figure it out themselves and wake up when they wake up. But it's crazy because you can give them all the facts. You can read them everything and they'll be like, so? And it's just so crazy because it's just like, don't you want to be your best self? Don't you want to be better? Don't you want to be healthy? Don't you want to activate? Don't you want to, be the best you can be? And like, they're so different than any other like group of indigenous Aboriginal people. Because I've traveled a lot through the East Coast and like, I don't know, the people in Atlanta, like, it's like they have like a hold on them. And it's so crazy because if you're saying it's going to be the new Atlantis, like, I feel like a lot of people, when they start waking up for real, when they start seeing everything, they're going to be sick, like sick.
Well, a lot of people in Atlanta not going to make it.
Well,
a lot of people in Atlanta not going to make it. And it ain't nothing that they could do about it because they not wired with the requirements it's going to take to make it through this shift. But there is some old people, and Big Mama just told me, channeled this since I've been talking to you, there's some people that we think dead that's in a meditative trance in Atlanta. I don't know where they at, but they in Atlanta, in the general area of Atlanta. She said when the Crystal City land, they're going to automatically wake up as if somebody poured cold water on them.
Have you heard of the Georgia Guidestones?
Yep.
So I don't know, like when I first read them, I was like, well, this kind of makes sense. Like what it's saying doesn't sound crazy, doesn't sound bad. When it was like basically translating what it was. And then when I started doing some more research, it was a whole bunch of people saying that it has to do with like the end of the world, apocalypses and the Antichrist and stuff. But it had me really confused because I didn't feel like it said anything bad. Like live with nature, live in harmony. Like, you know, it didn't have nothing that was like crazy on there. That was just like, okay, this is like bad. You know what I'm saying? Or not even bad, like for us to be in distress. But I also know that it was a certain kind of people who were saying that. And I read that they wanted to knock them down, but they couldn't figure out how to destroy them.
Anybody that you can, listen, this is the science. Anybody you can't figure out how to destroy them, if you can leave them to their own devices, they'll destroy themselves most of the time. Because people have a tendency, especially the way we taught, to become arrogant and egocentric to the point that they don't think that nobody can touch them. They think they're untouchable until they get touched.
Truly.
You know, so the best thing, like me, I just want to wake people up. You don't have to believe everything that I say. I don't expect nobody to, because ain't nobody supposed to believe everything somebody say. You know what I mean? You're supposed to check shit out. You know, that don't sound right. Right, that don't sound right to me.
Yeah, I feel like it's supposed to resonate with you. Like, if you get the goosies, if you feel it in your spirit, and that's what it is. Like, I feel like right now, a lot of people are always questioning their intuition. And because I've always been a clairvoyant, and I've literally seen, like, literally my fiance's aunt, I told him, I was like, we got to check up on her because I had, like, this vision. She's going to be leaving. She left in a week. She was gone out of here in a week. Not forever because, we don't die, but, like, she was gone. And like for me being so in tune with that, like I do my best to just listen to my intuition, listen to spirit, and take my download seriously versus everybody else. And I noticed too, like in the spiritual community, everybody wants to be right. This is the real truth or whatever. And I'm just like, maybe that's your truth. Maybe that's your truth. You know what I'm saying? But there's only one truth. And if it don't resonate with everybody, it's probably not really the truth. You know what I'm saying? If most people are resonating with it,
this is the problem with people talking about they got the truth. You know, the reason why they don't got the truth is because during their research, they took sides. You can't take sides because you wasn't here. The body you in now wasn't here. You have to read that shit like a tarot card. If you don't read it like a tarot card, as an energy signature from the past that's coming into the future to give you some information, and you take sides on that shit, whatever side you pick, you're gonna pick the wrong side because there's lies on both sides of it. But when you don't pick sides and you just try to get like my man on Just the Facts, man, Adam 12, Just the Facts. Just don't even take sides, right? It's like your two favorite cousins get into a fight. Just break that shit up. Don't get in that shit.
Facts. Like I was on here the other day when you were speaking on a few other, I guess people in this community who are trying to wake people up. And like what I heard, I didn't hear nothing from you saying nothing bad. And everybody was tagging these people trying to like, instigate something out. And I just kept putting in the comments like, he didn't say anything bad though. But he didn't say anything bad. Like
that's because they got to take a side.
And I'm like,
this is how divide and conquer work.
Somebody just said the Atlanteans were born with ego and that's why they fell.
They were infiltrated. That's why they fell.
Like
they didn't
else.
fall, really. Atlantis didn't fall. We was at war. And what they said sunk as Atlantis was a ship that flew away to Crystal City coming back. It just docked on Liverpool for the 3,600-year cycle until it come back around. Right? And that give us the time to figure out this conundrum we under and work our way out of the problem. But don't everybody that come to work their way out of the problem take sides and get us fucked. They always take sides and get us fucked. And that's why it took so long to break from under it. So it's even like people be trying to pit me against people. I'm not finna do that. Only way I'm gonna come at somebody is they wrong. Absolutely wrong. And Big Mama say, get them. They got it. They got it. But when I say something, you better believe I got the receipts to back it up.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't take sides.
And I think that is a big problem. I think that is a big problem. Like, even for little things, you know, like, for me growing up, like, you know, you talk a lot about like gang talk, you know, organizations, and like I never really understood why everyone was against each other. And I understand now what you're saying, like everybody has been infiltrated, and that's why people don't know that we're supposed to be brothers and sisters and stuff like that. But it was always so confusing to me, like, why are we taking the side when we're literally, that's literally your cousin. He on the next block over, that's your cousin, and you have to shoot against your cousin. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we should all be, especially because I lived in the hood. So, like, I would see, like, a lot of crazy things, like, literally brothers killing each other, cousins killing each other, all for just because they want to rep something that they don't even understand fully. You know, like, they don't even understand that, like gang signs are sigils. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of things, like a lot of stuff is like, a lot of stuff is ritual, positive ritual, and they're making it to negative ritual. And it's so crazy to me because I have been able to see deeper with that, like with watching you, you know, because everybody has this stigma, especially on the GDs. Like, if you're in the East Coast, they have a stigma on the GDs, like whatever. And to know
that's
that,
government propaganda that teaches us that we were talking about that. I was on a Telegram call. Was it Telegram? One of them channels over there on another app. And we was just talking about the gangs and the villainization of the culture, because the guy was under the impression that Larry, Jeff, Tukey is the cause, because they started these organizations. They're the cause of the problem. And it's like, no. If you don't understand the enemy, you're supposed to think that. That's the narrative the enemy told you to follow. So you following the enemy's narrative, but you have no clue that you're following the narrative that the enemy gave you, because you don't understand what the enemy was doing to occupy the land. This is occupied territory by foreign invaders. And the foreign invaders that occupied the territory wanted to keep the people of the land divided against each other, so we never figure out the problem, never come together, and never kick their ass off the land. And if we don't do that at the close of the age, we default on our own shit. We gave it to them. I'm not giving a motherfucker nothing. I'm not giving a motherfucker nothing. Big Mama said, fuck all this shit up until all of yours get all of theirs. Leave no stone unturned. I'm a GD.
Facts.
She ain't told me to kill nan stone. She said don't leave them unturned. What that mean? Uneducated. Ignorant.
Facts.
So wherever I see one unset, they don't got to believe me. They don't have a degree with me. I'm going to drop this info on them, though. Because Big Mama said, leave no stone unturned. That means leave no one ignorant behind. Right? Each one teach one. We all might reach some. Right? And if we all reach some, it won't be long before the enemy is done. Because once you purge the enemy within, you don't have to worry about the enemy without, because he'll show itself.
That's why I'm trying to tell people, like, and they always make it seem like it's a white and black thing. Like, I'm trying to tell people, literally, the person that's having our demise is someone who looks just like us, because that's the only way they can know us. That's the only way they can know our every move and how we thinking about certain things and how certain things affect us. Like I'm trying not to say black anymore, but Aboriginal Indigenous people are the most empathetic people. You know what I'm saying? So they know how to get to us. They know that.
Pull on your heartstrings.
You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody said it's mudras. That's what I really meant too. The gangsters are mudras. You know, like that's correct. Energy.
And they doing sign language too. So it's mudras, it's sign language, and we talking only from one side or the other side. to tell a message up the middle. Only if you can see it from the middle. When GD throwing up the pitchforks and the Stone throwing up the 5, if you take sides, you don't know what the fuck going on. It's drama. But if you don't take sides and you give everybody their due respect, they both telling the same story. One of them telling it from mama's eyes and one of them telling it from daddy's eyes. But it's the same story. It doesn't change. It don't change from New York to Boston, from Boston to Philly, from Philly to Akron, from Akron to Dayton, from Dayton to Memphis, from Memphis to Miami, from Miami to Houston. It doesn't change. They all telling the same story. Something's wrong on the land.
Mm-hmm.
They telling us this. This is what the gang's telling us. In their mudras and their hand signs when they repping, they say